Hello. Welcome to this weekly accountability meeting for, oh my gosh, what's today? Today is Monday, February 17th. And hello to everyone listening on the replay. I hope you are well. It's 5:30. This is a new time for the stream, 5:30 Eastern, and I was doing this at 9:45 a.m. Eastern, which is a ridiculous time, and I should not have been doing that. I guess essentially taking my lunch break at the beginning of the day. That was maybe not the best idea. And who's free at 9 a.m. on a Monday? I don't know if anyone's going to be free at 5:30 p.m. on a Monday either, but I just wanted to give this time a try and see if that works. So we'll take some time. But the purpose of this stream is to document my process and to be an accountability for anyone else who is looking to change, upgrade, adjust. So yay! Hello, Daryl. How are you? So glad you are here. I just sent you an email. I loved the suggestions that you had for yours. Didn't get a chance to research the channels that you mentioned. Daryl recommended, because we're both looking to grow our channels. Daryl's very selfless in his growing. But I guess we're looking for models, and I think that's a good thing to do in any area, to look for models, people that you want to emulate that are a couple steps down the road. And one of the people Daryl suggested to me was Erin Talks Money, her channel, and I love it, and I've been watching that a lot. I'd seen her videos in my feed, but I hadn't really clicked on them because, to be honest, I don't watch a ton of personal finance content, which is kind of funny and ironic, and I'm hoping to kind of use that as motivation to grow. But I love Erin Talks Money, and I've been watching a lot of her videos lately because I'd love to emulate her channel in the direction that she's going. So the purpose of Daryl, how are you? Hello, so glad you're here. So the purpose of this stream is to document our progress and to hold ourselves accountable for making progress. Number one, just showing up, but showing up is only half the battle. It's like 49% of the battle. And if you only show up, it's better than not showing up, but it's not going to get you there. And that's something that was kind of brought home to me lately. Kind of, I would say, struggling with that, but that's something I'm kind of working through. Is what I've been doing in the past will only get me this far. I can't get to where I'm going only doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to learn new things and I'm going to have to learn and grow and change, or stay stuck. Those are the options. And I don't like the option of staying stuck. So that's not what I want to do. Okay, so I guess I have a couple topics I'd love to chat with. So first of all, I guess if you're watching on the live stream, let me know how your week's gone. I'd love to hear if you leave me a comment in the live stream. Let me know how you're doing and what you're struggling with, and any wins that you had this week. So I think that's kind of a good way to start out with, is with wins or positive things that have happened this week. And I think, trying to think back, and it's such a cop out to say, oh, I survived this week, but that's sometimes that's the best you can do. I made it to the gym, which is great. So my number one goal for this 12-week year is to increase my income and increase my revenue streams, because that is the hardest thing for me to do. And I don't know why it's so challenging. And that's part of another topic, but that is my number one goal. And I didn't make huge strides toward that this month. Oh, I just forgot. I realized I don't have any water, which is going to be annoying. I don't want to get that like mouth feel, but if I need to duck out, that's what I'm going to go do, is get some water. So that's a little discouraging. And in fact, I did the bare minimum. I posted a video and I placed some Amazon orders so I can do some reviews for Amazon Influencer. But I did not put in my 3 hours of execution. I didn't put in my 2 hours of planning. I mean, I barely put in, like, I want to say maybe an hour of execution. I did an hour of execution, which is good. So I guess just to give some context on the week, what happened was my husband actually got a project, and that required it was a great project. It was like the opportunity to earn 3 times income in 1 week. But that required more intense childcare. So what I did was I took our daughter to my mom's house. My mom isn't at her house, but I took her to my mom's house and we ended up sleeping over there for half the week. So I was on full-time childcare duty for half the week. It was very unexpected, so that's a little frustrating, but that's kind of the nature of our life. We tend to be very fluid. And this will happen maybe once or twice a month, once or twice every 2 months, but it does happen because any chance to earn additional income for the family is great. So, that was great as a family, but for me personally, it wasn't so wonderful because it meant that everything else I had kind of cooking, got pushed to the back burner, and as a result, I mean, that's just what happened, so I had to adjust because my schedule is more flexible. So, while I was at my mom's house, full-time childcare, um, I was able to make a video. So that video that came out on Saturday about 7 money moves I'm making, which I'm actually really proud of. I'm proud of that video because that is more of the direction I wanna be going and less, so more informational and less only about my story. And I wanna start doing that more. I wanna start researching my videos more. I wanna start really getting into more personal finance, which I know almost nothing. And there's a lot of room for me to grow. So, for a personal finance YouTuber, like, I have a lot of room to grow. So I feel like that video was more in the direction I wanna go. I got an interesting comment on that video, though, which, again, I'll kind of go into later. So that's what happened in my week, was that I kind of had to drop everything and adjust with my husband's schedule being different. So it's awesome that he was able to earn more income for the family. Um, I'm just taking some notes so we can get some timestamps, for the replay crew. So, um, that was good for us as a family, not great for me personally, because I came back Friday afternoon, Valentine's Day, um, and was just exhausted. We were all exhausted, so we spent this weekend recovering, and I could have worked on Saturday, but we all did nothing, like, just nothing. I watched other YouTube. I watched this channel, her name's Sylvie the Queen. She's a girl living in Japan, like an expat living in Japan in, like, a 100 square meter apartment. Um, it was just recommended to me, and I was like, this her life was so interesting, so captivating, fairly low production value, but she does edit her she, like, splices together vlogs, and I just found it fascinating. So that's what I did. And I rested, and I got to the gym. So I feel like I took care of myself physically, which is good, hydrating and trying to eat as well as possible because when I was at my mom's, it was challenging to cook because we can't, there's no garbage. I'm not there for garbage disposal, so it's challenging. We have to carry in our garbage and carry it out. It's a hassle, so cooking was a little bit challenging. Um, so anyway, so that was my week, was a little bit, unsettled, and then Sunday, I kind of did chores. I organized, which was fantastic for me. Again, mentally, just not great on the income project, which I'm working on. So that's how my week went. And what happened was I don't say I dropped the things I wanted to do, but they were less of a priority. So if I look back, this is my little book that I write my morning affirmations in. I was like, as I was thinking about it on Saturday, I'm like, oh, I did nothing all week. And that's not true. So what felt like an eternity, like I hadn't done any of my topics or any of my writing, was only 2 days. So I did my affirmations Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I did not do them on Friday and Saturday, which is usually how it goes on the recovery days. It's a little bit more difficult to stick with my habits. So if we go into the scoring, so I'll move into that, because I gotta be accountable for what happens no matter what. Okay, I will share out my screen so you can see. Share screen, and we will do this together because copy it over. So this is Monday, February 17th. Let me update this one as well to the 10th. Okay. So 12-week year plan for Monday, and then this is a scoring for the previous week. Goal 1, upgrade my money mindset to increase my income. And goal 2, grow my side business income to $1,000 a month or more. And the bonus wins, if you can maintain 85% average, 5 weeks in a row or more, you will meet your goal in 12 weeks. It's nice. Declare wealth affirmations out loud at least once per day. I'm going to give myself like 40% on that one. Write out money appreciations at least once per day. I'm going to give myself an 80% on that. Look at vision board at least once per day, 10% on that, and then write out future pacing. I did not do that this week, so I get a 0%. So if I'm honest, I get a 34%. I mean, it's a big ol' L for this week. Okay, so goal 2, grow my side business income. Spend at least 2 hours per week planning. I have 0. Spend at least 3 hours per week acting on income ideas. I get giving myself a 50% because I did act and I did persevere. There was one night, it was Thursday, it was the second day we'd been at my mom's, and I was exhausted and I just wanted to go to bed. But I kept my contacts in, I kept my makeup on as I was putting my daughter to sleep, and I was like, "You know what? I'm going to get back up and I'm going to record a video." And I did. And then I ended up recording it in 4K instead of HD, so it took like 8 years to upload. So I was like, "Forget this." And I figured out how to downgrade the recording so it would upload faster. So that's why it was a little bit late, but I did it, and that was the important part. And I'm also going to give myself 20% assessing and measuring, because I feel like that's what I'm gonna do right now. So I got a 42. That's great. I'm not even gonna bother recording my weekly, because it doesn't, not that it doesn't matter, but it's not helpful to record that right now. My Amazon influencer income is going up quite well, but that's not something I'm actively working to improve. Okay, so 34 and 42 for a grand all average of 38.63. Again, that's like a D. But the important thing is we're still in the class. Okay, so that's where we are. So I'm copying this over and I'm going to make a week 7. So here we are. This is officially the halfway point. And I have stuck with it. I'm still here, which I think the statistics are something like 70 or 80% of New Year's resolutions fizzle out by the end of January. And it's like, it's mid-Feb and I'm still here. We're still here. So if you are in this area, this sort of, I wouldn't even call it the messy middle, because maybe it is the messy middle. Okay, we'll call it the messy middle. If you're in the messy middle as well, hang in there. Just keep hanging in there. So that was my score for this week. It's not great. And there were legitimate reasons for that. And I know what those reasons are. And I know what a good week would look like for me. So that was my scoring. And scoring, all right, again, with the timestamps for you guys. So that was my scoring. So I'm going to move on to topics for the week, because I took some notes here and I'm like, okay, what am I thinking about? What am I working on personally? How am I using this time to grow personally and to lay the groundwork for what will come next? Because right now it feels, I don't say it feels hopeless, but it feels like the same old again. And I want to be very clear about this, because I got a comment on that, again, timestamps. I got a comment on that latest video on 7 things I'm doing with my money this year in 2025. And again, I was really proud of that video, and I haven't been getting comments on my videos lately. My views are just average, but I haven't been getting any comments, and I'm kind of like discouraged by that. I checked my comment settings and I was holding all comments, so I removed that. So hopefully it looks, I mean, this comment came in after, so maybe that had something to do with it. But this comment was like really long, and I can tell the person meant well. And this isn't the first time someone's left a comment that is like struck a chord in me in like not the best way. made me feel very defensive. I'm like, "Well, why am I feeling that way? Let me look inside. Let me do the interior work." So this person had said, and you can go check out the comment, like, "It's hard to watch you because it feels like you're in a hole and you know what to do to get out of the hole, but you just don't want to." And I'm like, "Okay, okay." Like, "Hmm, all right." And they're like, "Why don't you try Dave Ramsey's plan?" That's the second thing. And then it was, "I know you and your husband have an interesting you don't combine your finances and you and your husband have an interesting living situation." And then it was like, "I don't want this to seem non-negative. You and they enjoyed watching me," and I'm like, "Thanks." Um, Actually, because and I'm going to look this comment up because it's not the comment, but it's what it struck in me, and it's that it struck something familiar in me because, again, this isn't the first time I've heard that type of thing, like, you're in a hole and you know how to get out of it, but you're just not doing it. And it's not the first time this a comment has kind of, again, struck a chord in me. So and made me feel defensive, and I'm like, "Okay, again, let me look inside and do the interior work for that." So, number 1, the first thing, it feels like you're in a hole and you don't know what to do to get out of it. You know what to do to get out of it, but you're just not doing it. So, number 1, in a hole, I'm like I hear what they're saying, and I'm like, "So, in a hole," just to clarify, I'm in the best financial shape I've ever been in my life. Like, I have my net worth is higher than it's ever been, which is good because I'm older than I've ever been, right? So you don't wanna go backwards in your net worth. So that's good. Um, what so and then I said that. I was like, "Hey, oh my gosh, the Ramsey plan, that just like" and it's like it was just, again, a well-meaning comment. I'm like and I said in my response, "The biggest hole I feel like I'm in is my moderate income." And then I remember that the reason I have a moderate income at this point is sort of threefold. Number 1, it's fully remote, very flexible. I have tenure and I have full benefits, tenure and full benefits. And those 4 things together, fully remote, flexible, tenure, full benefits. Those 4 things alone, while I have a child under the age of 4, so not yet school age, are huge because, I mean, even this time last year when I was learning a new job, it was very, very challenging, and I cannot imagine. And these are with amazing people that I know, and I can't imagine having to meet new people in it, never mind finding a job that's remote, fully remote, flexible, full benefits and full benefits, like, never mind finding all those things together. I can't imagine learning a new job and new people, like, and taking the chance that, like, maybe it doesn't work out because I feel like it's a mixed bag. I've worked with I would say that 80% of the people I've worked with have been phenomenal, but that 20%, man, like, taking the chance that you get, like, a bad apple or a bad situation, like, oh my goodness, so that I'm making the choice to stay with a job that has maybe a 20% lower compensation rate relative to the market for all those benefits while I have a young child. So those are like, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. That said, could I go out and look for another job making more money? Of course I could. Do I wanna do that right now? No. Could I? Yes. Would that be worth my time and energy? Who knows? And is that something that I will do in the future? Yes, it is. It just is, just for my own personal satisfaction. So that again, so that's part 2 because the only hole I feel like I'm in is my limited income. That's the biggest hole I feel like I'm in right now. And how to get out of that is, and I feel like I'm doing that right now, like, that's what I'm doing is how to get out of that. So and my husband and I do combine our finances and we have a very, very simple living situation. I was transitioning from New Jersey to Manhattan, so I don't know if that's, like, the interesting living situation this person was referring to, but now we just live together in our co-op in Manhattan. I mean, that's our living situation. So, again, I really had to look at this and say, I can see what this person is saying because sometimes I do feel like I'm stuck in a hole and it's hard. I would say hard to get out of it, but there are so many aspects of my life that are going amazing that 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, I would be like, I would die to not that I would be really excited to know that this was ahead. And that's very much the theme of my life is like, it just keeps getting better. Like better things are ahead each time. Like if I were to look back 10 years ago, I would not want to go back 10 years ago. I am happier now than I was 10 years ago. So I feel like that's a very positive progression. So that's positive. But I just had to kind of like workshop how I felt about this comment because again, there was another comment that was left by a very similarly well-meaning person who was like, like your limiting income, I forget it, like your limiting income is you're never going to make any progress or you know what to do, you're just not doing it. And that is frustrating to me because I guess that's like the biggest frustration for me is you know what to do, you're just not doing it. And I kind of want to like park on that because sometimes I do feel that way. Like not that I know what to do and I'm just not doing it. But if there's a blindness, like if there's a blind spot that I'm not seeing, I want to see that. So again, on the personal level, that's something that I'm working on overcoming. But and this is my third point is actually Daryl did a video about this where so my third point is what would I do in their shoes? So again, taking timestamps, notes, because Daryl had mentioned on his channel Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle, that his he just really felt for a lot of YouTubers who were in his similar situation but had much less savings, much lower retirement portfolios than he does. And I thought my question was, well, that was a really good, it was just a little short and informal short, but my question is, what would you do if you woke up in their shoes? It's an old Dave Ramsey question. I have a ton of problems with Dave Ramsey, especially at this moment in history. But um, a lot of the things that he said were powerful, were helpful and instructional. Like how he answers questions is what would he do if he woke up in your shoes? And I think, okay, well, what would I do if I woke up in this YouTuber's shoes or this YouTuber's shoes? And then because I was asking Daryl because he's someone that's come from nothing and has really acquired a ton of knowledge. He's got a PhD, like multiple PhDs or just the one, Daryl, correct me. And has built up his savings and his investment portfolio and his property portfolio to quite sizable portfolio coming from nothing into that. So that's why I'd be interested to hear what he has to say about what would he do if he woke up in this person's shoes, someone same age as him and has no savings for retirement. What would he do if he were in that situation? Because I think to myself, I would love to hear what someone else would do in my situation. And then because I think of other YouTubers, there's one in particular who I may possibly this year end up collaborating with. He's a guy. And he's asked before. He's someone he's interesting. He's had a lot of bad luck. But I also feel like he's someone that tends to entertain. I don't say entertain the bad luck because that's not just one PhD. It's amazing still. I mean that's incredible. But I'd love to hear that, Daryl. I want you to make that video on what you would do if you woke up in their shoes. So this YouTuber one time asked, he's like, okay, because he got a similar comment like, oh, you just have to do X, Y, like you're not doing what you have to do. And he's like, okay, what do I have to do? Tell me what I have to do. And I kind of can relate to that because I'm like, oh, I can, I just wish sometimes that and I was going to say, I wish sometimes someone would tell me what to do. At the same time, I also want to develop sort of a coachable mindset because I have been told in the past that I'm very defensive, and this is something I know about myself. So I want to overcome that. This is the year of using my strengths and releasing my weaknesses. Everyone has weaknesses, but I want to release them so they don't hinder me anymore. So this other male YouTuber, the thing that I empathize with, thank you, or do one for me too. I'd love to hear that too. What would you do if you were in my shoes? 40, early 40s, one kid, modest income, extremely high cost of living. Well, you moved. That's what you did is you moved. So, I mean, what is that? Geo arbitrage, locational arbitrage. It's a real concept that it's something that people do. um, which I don't at least as long as we have family here is not really something I would want to do, because I know kids can thrive anywhere. My preference is to be here, um, near family. So with this YouTuber that I wonder about, and I think to myself, what would I do if I woke up in his shoes? Like, what would be the moves that I took? Because I feel like, again, a very large piece of bad luck just befell him, and I feel like he spent like a year and a half entertaining that bad luck rather than just being like, okay, and moving on. Um, it had to do with, and anyway, I'm not going to get into it too much. But so what would I do? And the thing is, I feel like he's already kind of on his way. He's got like he's taking business courses and he's like on his way to building up his own business. I think it's really exciting and like positive for him. So what would I do differently? Again, because I feel like I have these blinders on myself. And I even at the end of last year looked into career coaching, and I'm not sure that that is the best option for me at this point. Because I even in this like introductory call with this career coach, I mentioned my situation. She's like, "Oh, that's really good." She's like, "You have a 2-year-old and you're fully remote with benefits and flexibility. Like, that's amazing." Um, so I don't really think um, I'm not in a hurry to change that right now. So it's my work. It's funny. Hey, Adam, how are you? Good to see you here. So that's certainly not my priority, which is why I'm prioritizing earning through my side income, which is again why I've changed the time of this live stream to be outside business hours. So overall, I think, and again, it's tough. My focus is removing blinders to see fully what's in front of me and being focused. So I feel like this is a lot of like interior focused work in this stream. It's very much like a therapy session, but also again, I want to document my own process because as it relates to my business, I feel like my plan for this year, I'm still working on my plan for this year, which is challenging. Some YouTubers have moved to Thailand. If I were you, I would use your strengths and your speaking skills. Yeah, exactly. That's being comfortable in front of the camera, and that's what I'm working on doing. I know some YouTubers have moved to Thailand. It's funny. My husband loves Thailand. My mom loves Thailand. Again, I can't see raising kiddos there is the thing, raising a child there. That wouldn't be my first choice of places to do that. And it wouldn't work for him either because he does have the option to go into the office. But yeah, I agree, Daryl. So my plan for this year is to work on this channel, which I've had this channel for 10 years and I'm like, okay, this is an asset that I've built and I enjoy it and I enjoy connecting and I want to maintain an approach of service, not necessarily before profit, but service in conjunction with I don't know, say service in conjunction with profit, but that's um I want to put service first and profits second. That doesn't mean that profit is invisible, but I fully believe that my services would deserve to be compensated. So my focus is going to be this channel, Amazon affiliate, the email list, and then building some type of product that I feel confident and good about selling, and then promoting that product in the way that feels good and authentic to me. Because my goal would be to sponsor myself. Like, sure, like doing whatever sponsorships is what people do. And I actually like the way that Ramit Sethi does his sponsorships because they feel very organic and natural and say with integrity. He takes on his sponsorships with integrity. So I want to be service minded and lead with integrity. But my goal would be to be able to have a product that would sponsor myself. So I've been watching Brenda Turner, and that's her suggestion. And I so that would be my like fourth area if I'm going to work on something. So again, those priorities are building up this YouTube channel with content that is well-researched and helpful and focused more on the viewer and the viewer's needs than myself and my own story. So I've been lazy, like, that's the thing, I'm lazy in relying just on my own story. There's nothing wrong with that here and there, but if it's only my own story, then that's all that people have. I'm not putting anything of value into the conversation. So building up this YouTube channel, more helpful, relevant information focused on the viewer. Amazon affiliate, building my email list with quality products of value, quality content of value, and then developing my own product that I can offer. So those are my 4 goals for this year, and I feel like it's taken this like 6 weeks to get to that point, and I didn't necessarily know that that would be my focus, but that's my focus for this year. I'm open to other opportunities that might come along. I have one other business opportunity that I might kind of look into because I have this the wholesale eBay account that I created with a business ID. You need to focus on helping the viewer as well. Exactly. I feel like that's naturally your focus, Daryl. Um, just providing well-researched, helpful content that serves the viewer. So this business, this wholesale, I got a business registration certificate for an eBay business back in 2019, so I could get wholesale lots. And I only got one wholesale lot, and I'm still making sales on that today in 2025. So that would be something, building up that business, specifically in the auto parts niche, would be something that I'm actually kind of also thinking about on the side. So that would be another area that I would potentially focus on. But that's 5, so it's 5 areas this year, and I feel like that's, like, more than enough. So I really got keeping that in the forefront of what I'm doing and putting that um, in my having that in my forefront, in the front of what I'm thinking, because when I'm exhausted, just the thing is I feel physically exhausted, but mentally I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I could go," but I'm just like, physically, I don't wanna do anything. Again, it's work. Uh, so never stops, but again, it's very flexible, so, I mean, I love that, I love that. So, those are that's what I'm focusing on this year, and again, it took me 6 weeks to get to this point because it's not shiny object syndrome. What it is an Erin on Demand, the channel Erin on Demand did a video on this, and the title is Making Money's Not Hard, Stop Saying That. And she's absolutely right, making money isn't hard, but it's choosing where you want to it's choosing how you want to make your money. And it's like, I feel like I got a little no, I didn't get sidetracked, I just didn't do any work because I didn't know where to start to do the work. So I think that's why I have those 2 hours of planning built in, because sometimes I have no clue, and just sitting down with a piece of paper and saying, "Okay, what are my goals? I am here. I want to get here. What are the steps to get from here to here?" And that's all it is. It's just figuring it out. It's not hard. You just have to do it. And I haven't had the mental energy to actually do it. And I feel like if that's the whole, like, that's the whole. So that's what I'm working on. So I guess the steps are just sit down and do it. So I feel like that's a large part of the accountability here. And that's what that is here as well. So one thing I'd love to do in addition to my tactics for the year, I mean, this is the time, like, blocking out time to actually do this. And my husband's very kindly watching over our child at this point. I mean, we both work grueling days, and we've actually increased our childcare because my mom's been out of town for a bit. So we've increased our childcare. We used to go just 9 to 12, and now we're going 9 to 3, and it's like a game changer. Like, I'm looking around being like, "Oh, what do I do with all this time?" And I think today was the first day, and we went on a Monday from 9 to 3. We had been doing it kind of on and off for the past 2 weeks, and she's going 4 days this week, and I'm like, "Wow, it's like all that time." I mean, yeah, my day job takes up a good part of that time, but again, my day job is flexible, so I can do a lot of stuff at, like, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night too. But that's also time I can use to work. And another positive thing that's happening is that I feel like my child's starting to sleep a little bit later in the morning, which is good. She's been sleeping till like 7:30 because we're all exhausted. But if I were to be a little more, say, diligent, I could wake up at like 5, 4 or 5. And what had stopped me from doing that in the past is that I would wake up and she would be up and ready to go for the day. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. You're not starting your day at this time. I'm certainly not doing that. So I can also find the time. Like that's what it is. It's scheduling. Oh, sorry. It was really loud. It's really loud in my headphones. Finding the time in the day to schedule it out. So that's what I got for you. Okay, so what am I committing to? Just do the tactics. Just work the tactics. They work. So this is my goal for this next week. And again, I have no idea what this week holds, but I do know we have more childcare, so that's something. We are planning to have more childcare time. I'm going to think positive. I'm going to dwell. Like, what's the best case scenario? And that is that I would set aside the time to put the work in, thereby leading to 85% or higher on both tactics. It's not hard. I just have to do it. Okay. All right. So that's what I got for you on this live stream, this week 6 live stream. I'm making the thumbnail for week 7. I'm using actually a color wheel to color code the weeks. So it's the same thumbnail, it's just different. There's a different color in the corner of the week, so you can tell, in addition to saying the number of the week. Yeah, so that's the goal, it's the plan, and oh my god, like sometimes it feels so hard. You just have to do it. It's not hard. You just have to do it. Okay, so that's what I got for you this week as we go into the new week. Let's see what fresh wonders await. We got this. We got this. Just hang in there. Just you can do it. We can do it. We can do it. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Leave me a comment if you're watching on the replay. Happy you're here. And hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye. Oh, Daryl, I'll read your comment. Make money work for you. You worked 16 hours a day, but you did not have the baby. You also cut back your expenses to the bone. You can use social media to make your money. That is much easier than how you did it. See, yes. And yes, very true. And that's such a powerful lesson to make money work for you. Like the number one way to earn money is to have your money make money. Like my husband and I are talking about that, and we're so excited to pass that on to our daughter because neither of us learned that, and it is so powerful. It's like, yes, at this point, his investment portfolio is like, I don't say out earning both of us, but it makes more in a month than either of us do. So like that's the exciting part. I remember Rebecca from Quest to Fire mentioned that too. Like once she crossed the 6-figure mark in her portfolio, she's like, wow, like it really grows fast. I'm like, yeah. So that's very exciting. Yes, absolutely make money work for you. Yes. And social media, again, there's a word limit on the comments. Oh no. Yes, social media is powerful, and that's another thing because, yes, growing this YouTube channel, email list, and those are all things that I can use social media to do. So a channel called The Calm Creative has a plan for a social media free marketing plan, and all she uses is a website and an email list. And that really resonated with me because I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in spending time and energy on social media. But then it's like you're building your house, and I've heard this analogy. You're building your house on shifting sand because you never know what's going to happen with social media. Mm-hmm. And I also don't want to necessarily. I don't want to say I don't want to promote things because I don't want to promote people scrolling on your phone. But it's like if you're scrolling on your phone already, then might as well have some like positive, uplifting, helpful content to consume. So that's another thing again that I just got to bring to my planning sessions. That is the most important thing. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Daryl. Yes. It's just, yes, make money work for you. That's sort of the number one thing. And yes, that's the plan. Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys.